Hey everyone, finish watching the next episode of Beetleborgs, Operation Frankenbeans. The Magnivores have a new plan to exhaust the Beetleborgs. They repeatedly interrupt them at school and cap off everything by bringing a new monster out of the comics. The kids are so tired they have no time to study. At Hillhurst, Dr. Baron von Frankenbeans has come to upgrade Frankie's brain. It worked and Frankie can now speak eloquently. However, he's become pompous and arrogant. He insults the monsters and even his own father. He treats Wolfie like a dog and puts him on a leash and walks out past the kids. Just then, the latest Magnivore monster comes to tell the kids he's going to attack the city. The kids sigh and head off to follow him. The Hillhurst monsters, meanwhile, try to convince Dr. Frankenbeans to change Frankie back to normal, but Dr. Frankenbeans isn't sure it's ethical to take away the intelligence he's given him. The Beetleborgs, meanwhile, barely manage to defeat the monster and go back to Hillhurst. Flabber and the monsters agree to help out the kids with studying for school. The next day, the kids come to tell the monsters they passed their exams at school. Frankie comes over to condescend at everyone before suddenly he slips down the stairs. A statue hits him on the head and he returns back to his normal self. This episode is okay, but with a pretty weak resolution. The Magnivores' plan ultimately doesn't work because they pull a Grimlord and just give up. I give up. I think they should have had the Magnivores themselves shown getting fatigued. In the end, they've successfully tired out the kids, but now they're too tired out also. Frankie's plot at first feels like it's trying to get a message across, but then it just kind of resolves itself, so everything can be back to normal the next episode. This is a kid's show, a very silly kid's show at that, so I wasn't expecting any deep messages, but what Frankie goes through is something that's been explored elsewhere in greater detail. The most relevant example would be Flowers for Algernon, a book about a mentally challenged man who undergoes an experimental surgery that gives him incredible intelligence. His newfound intelligence propels him through society, but he leaves behind his true friends, and even looks down on them. Some of his disdain is completely justified, though. In the end, the experimental surgery wears off, and he returns to how he was at the beginning, and returns to his old life. He's lost his memory of what happened, but the people around him who truly care about him now have a new outlook because of what they experienced with him. Probably a bit too in-depth for Beetleborgs to explore in a single episode, even with Frankie's story being the A-plot over the kids' B-plot. There are some funny bits here. My favorite is when Dr. Frankenbeans is operating on Frankie and pulls various silly things out of his head and says, "Oh, Frankie, what kind of baloney have they been filling your head with?" Not a particularly amazing episode. It's pretty standard, but it's fun. So that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.